And Naledi is an animated short film about a grief-stricken athlete who suffers a career-threatening injury and has to find her way back to her life, back on track, while also dealing with grief. It's a story of overcoming adversity through sport and navigating life as a young athlete. Let's take a look.
One last moment of drama here in Johannesburg. The women's 100-meter hurdles African Athletics Championships final. All eyes will be on Naledi, the defending champion, whose father, the legendary Kosi Libita, sadly passed away last month.
Sit.
Moving into the world of 2D sports animation, Lola Aikins is an animator and director of the film, and she joins me now in studio to expand a bit further on this film. Of course, the animation in sport, not something that we see regularly, Lola. In fact, I was joking a bit earlier on saying, well, outside of Shakes and the Super Strikers, there's very little that people speak about when they talk about sports animation. So why is it then that you decided to go this route? A very good morning to you.
Good morning to you too. Well, for myself, when I was in school, I played hockey and I did athletics. And I wanted to represent South Africa, but I didn't get a chance to do that as I suffered an injury on my knee in school. So that ended that dream. But I always wanted to be an animator since I was a young girl. That never changed. So when my grandfather passed a couple of years ago, I kind of merged my love for him, my love for sports, and my love for animation into this one project.
And one listening to this, I have to ask you the question then, if Naledi is based on your life, because of course we're talking about a character that had to deal with a lot of grief, that had an injury, that has to navigate the world of life while also having to deal with the demands on the sporting field. Take me through your life story and perhaps why it is that you felt this is a story that you wanted to tell.
Okay, yeah, for sure. She is based on me, not entirely, but there is a lot I drew from my own life. So, yeah, I had never experienced grief like properly before until my grandfather passed, and I've always wanted to be an animator. So from the age of about 9, so I always knew I wanted to be an animator, and I got to go to animation school. And when I finished university, I was lucky enough to go straight into the industry and work. But also when I was in school, I also played hockey at a provincial level, so I represented my region and hopefully wanted to represent South Africa. Oh. And even though that didn't happen, after I finished university and I started working, like straight after university, I started working on this project. So it's been about 6 years.
Jeez.
So yeah, it wasn't really like my plan that I must tell this story. Like this is the story of my life and I'm going to tell it, because I came up with it during an internship when I was an intern in my second job. But I thought it was something worth exploring. You know, and also I used my project as a way to grow myself as an artist, you know, like my technical skill. And then I applied for funding, I didn't get it. And then a year later, well, 2 years later, I applied for funding again. And then I was able to make a trailer, to my surprise. So it was a very organic journey, like nothing that was really forced into making this film, but it's been a really great journey.
And why is it important for us to be able to tell our own sports stories, seeing a Naledi that somebody can relate to as an athlete, and a real journey that youngsters who are watching this animated film would be able to look at for inspiration? Why do you think it's important for us to be able to own and tell those stories?
Because as African people, we are so diverse in all the things that we want to do with our lives. Like there are young girls out there and even young boys who want to be athletes, but specifically young girls, and we're not really encouraged to do sports, you know, from a school level. My parents always supported me, but for those who have passion and are good at sports, they can see themselves represented, even if it's in animation, saying, I want to be like this character, you know, and then play hockey or do athletics or do swimming if they can see themselves represented, someone that looks like them, and know that it's possible. So I think it's really important for us to empower our children and young girls to be able to do whatever they want with their lives.
Talk me through where the journey is now. So obviously you've spoken about the promo and you want to be able to create this project and see it through till the end. At what stage are you at, and how long do we have to wait as South Africans before we see this now going to the big screen?
Well, so currently the project is in production. So we're in the stage called layout. I won't get too technical about it, but it's the stage just before animation. But we still need funds to finish the film. So we haven't raised enough money to enter animation yet. So we're still trying to raise funds. And if the funding is there, hopefully we could finish the film by the end of the year or first quarter of next year. But yeah, we're still trying to make the film and push on, but also fundraising at the same time. So yeah, if there's anyone that's interested in helping us finish this film and funding us, we're here.
All right, then as we wrap up then, words of encouragement to those who are watching, who are not only interested in sport, but also sports animation in terms of challenges that you would have faced, but more importantly, the reward at the end of it. Why is it that you would encourage those to get involved in sports animation and also in sport in general out of the lessons that you were able to learn?
Well, I think getting involved in sports in general, as people, we are like made to move around, you know, and our bodies can do absolutely amazing things. So if you have a talent or you have the ambition to be a sports star or just to play sport, represent your country or to better your family, you know, through your situation as being an athlete, I think you should do it. And also with animation in general, like it's a way to bring the story of sports to young children and to people as well. So like through animation, you can empower people, inspire people to want to be an athlete, or even if you don't want to be an athlete, like be an animator, you know. There are many different stories that you can tell with animation. So yeah.
Well, all the best for the rest of the project, Lola. Of course, that's Lola Aikins, who is the director of this Naledi film, still in production.